Everything began to change in the year 1500. Brazil, the rise of South America's giant. In the early hours of a humid morning in the vast Amazon rainforest, the sun slowly pushed its way through layers of mist rising from the jungle floor. Birds screamed through the canopy, insects buzzed like distant machinery, and the largest rainforest on Earth awoke for another day. For centuries, this forest had watched the rise and fall of civilizations, the arrival of explorers, and the birth of a nation that would eventually become the giant of South America, Brazil. But the story of Brazil did not begin with skyscrapers in São Paulo or the roaring crowds inside Maracanã Stadium. It began long before maps had even named the continent. The first peoples. Many thousands of years before Europeans ever reached South America, the land that would become Brazil was already alive with diverse cultures. Hundreds of indigenous communities lived across the territory from the dense Amazon basin to the Atlantic coastline. They hunted, farmed cassava, navigated rivers using wooden canoes, and built societies closely connected to nature. For these communities, the forest was not simply a resource, it was a living spirit. Their knowledge of plants, animals, and rivers would later amaze scientists and explorers. Everything began to change in the year 1500. The arrival. On April 22nd in the year 1500, Portuguese navigator Pedro Álvares Cabral spotted land after weeks of sailing across the Atlantic Ocean. His fleet had been traveling toward India but drifted westward, discovering a coastline covered with thick forests and inhabited by people unlike any Europeans had seen before. Cabral claimed the land for Portugal, unknowingly opening a new chapter in global history. The Portuguese named the territory after a valuable tree found along the coast, pau-brasil. The tree produced a deep red dye that became extremely valuable in Europe. Soon, ships crossed the ocean carrying large amounts of Brazil wood, and the colony began to expand.